It's time now for our interview segment with NAU-TV's Mitch Strohman.
Teresa, thank you very much. Joining us on Inside NAU today is Dr. Monica Brown. And Dr. Brown, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
11 books.
Yes, it's been a good year.
It's been a great year. 11 books, and these are just phenomenal books for children with beautiful illustrations and beautiful stories and messages. Talk a little bit about how did you get into writing those types of books?
Well, I see it as my latest evolution as a writer because I was an English major declared when I went to university. And then my first job when I graduated was as a journalist. Mm-hmm. And then I went to graduate school and I started writing as a scholar and became an English professor. And then I had children and I wasn't pleased with all the offerings for children, so I decided to create Latino children's literature for them.
Take measures into your own hands.
Absolutely.
Multicultural books.
Yes, definitely.
Talk about why that is such a passion for you.
Well, writing multicultural books is important to me partially because I'm the daughter of a North American father and a South American mother, and I wanted my many cultures to be represented in the literature I shared with my children and other children, especially here in Arizona. So I wanted literature that reflected the diversity of our region, of my culture, and of the United States.
You know, I've got your latest book here. This is Waiting for the Biblioburro, and this is how beautifully illustrated this is. Looking through your books, the illustrations are as powerful as the words that you write. To have that type of relationship, I'm sure, to put these types of books together for children must be a critical piece of the puzzle for you. Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. I love working with artists. My mother was an artist, and I think that's why I'm good at writing for artists, because the picture book, the children's picture book, is the meeting of text and art. And I've had the privilege of working with some of the most talented artists in the field. And Waiting for the Biblioburro is no exception.
The Biblioburro, so the library burro?
Absolutely. This book, though, Waiting for the Biblioburro is fiction, but it was inspired by a true story of a gentleman named Luis Soriano, and he was nominated and became a CNN hero this past year. And I talked to Luis across the continents, and I did research, and part of the proceeds from this book are actually benefiting his foundation. And what he does is extraordinary. He brings books to remote villages in Colombia that have no access even to schools, much less libraries. And he teaches the children at his own risk. He's been robbed at gunpoint because we know that there's been some tumultuous times in Colombia.
Teaching English at Northern Arizona University and being an author at the same time, you bring that unique inside perspective to your students about writing and about publishing writing as well. Mm-hmm. How do you, in the classroom with your students here at NAU, help to inspire and to motivate and to mentor, I'm sure, some of your students in terms of their writing?
I love mentoring student writing because I don't have firm lines between the critical and the creative. I think they're hand in hand. And since I teach Latino literature, I draw on my own experiences as a Latino writer, but also on this rich tradition. And for example, I taught a comparative lit course, Literature of the Americas, and I taught South American magical realist writers, and I taught U.S. Latino writers. And at that time, I was working on a children's biography of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So my research and my teaching were pretty seamless.
You've authored now 11 children's books.
I've authored more, but
really?
There's 11 out.
There's 11 out.
Yes.
That would suggest to me then, Monica, that there may be some more in the future?
Yes, I have a couple books forthcoming. I have a book. My first book I ever published was My Name is Celia, Me Llamo Celia, The Life of Celia Cruz. And that was 7 years ago, I believe. And In 2013, from HarperCollins, Tito Puente, The King of Mambo, is coming out with my same illustrator, Rafael Lopez. So that's pretty exciting.
The same illustrator. I mean, and here's another one of your books, Side by Side. And the illustrations in the books, as we talked about, are quite stunning and very beautiful and powerful. So working with your illustrator as closely as you do must be very important in terms of how you get the message out to the kids.
Absolutely. Joe Cepeda and I had a great source of inspiration in Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez. We actually met Dolores on several occasions, and again, part of the proceeds from this book is benefiting her foundation. So
Well,
Joe and I were inspired by the woman herself.
I'm excited for your next publication. That sounds very cool. Dr. Monica Brown, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your passion for multicultural children's books here on Inside NAU.
Thank you.